had a cat. His name was Fishek, and my husband used to like to order hot Adana kebab. And every time the guy rang the doorbell, the cat was sitting at the door waiting. He would eat hot Adana kebab. This cat.
Yeah, Adana cats. They like Adana kebab.
He is not.
Hello, everyone. Here we are today with Patricia. Welcome, Patricia.
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
We are fine. How are you doing?
Good. You look so classy with those glasses on.
Thank you very much for saying that. I know you don't mean it, but thank you. So here we are, Patricia. Let's start with the introduction. They don't know you. So would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Patricia Çevik. I'm married to a Turkish man for 33 years. And I am an American from New York City. Not New York City per se. Long Island, New York. It's like the country. New York is like Istanbul. And it's very crowded. And can I just say I don't like Istanbul because it's very crowded?
I mean, you can say that, yeah.
I did. I just did.
You just did it. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Totally. So tell us about your journey. I mean, let's go back to your childhood.
Okay.
You were raised in Long Island.
Yes.
How was it?
I had a wonderful childhood. When I was like 15 or 15, I'll say, I got a paper route. I was delivering newspapers.
Really?
And I was making my own money, and it was wonderful. What I did with the money, I still can't remember. And I had this dog with me, and he was helping me deliver the newspapers. I don't know how I trained him, but I would put the newspaper in his mouth, and he would go up to the person waiting at the door, and he would give the newspaper and then come back to me. And everybody thought it was great, and I got good tips because of that. So...
Nice. And so you don't remember what you were doing with the money?
No, I can't remember. I was making good money.
I see.
I think maybe around Christmas I was buying presents for everybody. But
I see. So what do you like about Long Island?
It's green. I went back there in 2013 when my father passed away, and I went back to my old neighborhood. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Everything is the same. Just the people are different.
Yeah.
The streets.
Do you know any of them?
No, of course not, because all the old people died. So
I see.
No, I have no idea. But the thing I like about America or New York is that the streets are parallel. They're north, south, east, and west. None of this. What do you call circular and mixed up? They're not straight like American streets.
I see. So then you went to school.
Yes, I went to school in California. I went to university, yes. I also went to veterinarian technician school because I wanted to be a veterinarian because I had a big piece of property that I was with another person. And I wanted to be a veterinarian technician, and I did it for 3 months. And then my mother says, "Come back to New York." and I'm wondering, why is she telling me to come back to New York?
There's a plan.
She had the plan. I didn't have the plan. I mean, I guess she understood that where I was not happy. So
I see. Were you happy?
In California?
Yeah.
I would say 50% of the time.
Okay, so what made you not happy in California?
The person that I was with.
I see. Okay. And then you moved back to New York City.
Actually, no. What happened was I went back. My mother sent me a ticket, and I went back once, and I stayed 15 days. And in those 15 days, she introduced me to someone.
She introduced you to a Turkish guy.
Yes, but okay, why a Turkish guy? Because my mother used to rent rooms to Turkish people, Turkish and Greek people.
In Long Island?
Yes.
What is this connection between Long Island and Turkish community? Because I've heard many Turkish people in Long Island.
Okay, well, it goes like this. My mother had extra rooms, and she was renting to Turkish guys, and she was renting to Greek guys. And because of this, she saw how clean they were, and they are very good cooks. And
great food, right?
Yeah. And there are a lot of Greek restaurants and Turkish restaurants in New York. So.
Yeah.
Because of this, this guy was not living in my mother's house. Let me get that straight.
All right.
He was living in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And Manhattan. And she said, come back here, come back here. And I said, what do you want me to come back to New York for? I want you to meet somebody.
How did you feel about it?
Why is she trying to set me up with somebody? I'm 26 years old. I don't want to get married. Leave me alone. But to make her happy, I went. And I met this guy. And
please tell me the first impression.
I already knew what Turkish people were because they were living in my mother's house.
Okay.
So I didn't really have a bad impression about it.
Nice.
I didn't have
I'm talking about your first impression personally. I mean, this is the guy you married to at the end of the day.
Well, I didn't know I was going to marry him. I had no idea.
You had no feelings because outside you were telling me when you meet the right person, you know.
I had no feelings when I first met him.
Okay.
But there's more to the story.
Yes, please.
So I went back to California.
All right.
And I'm thinking and I'm thinking and I'm thinking.
So that was like a date you had with him?
15-day date? Yes,
Okay.
of course, 15 days. I guess it was just to get to know him. It wasn't, I'm going to marry this guy. I mean, it was just a friend, like you and me, friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And marriage was not in the picture.
I see.
So I went back to California. My mother gave me the credit card. And she says, when you're ready, come back. 3 or 4 months later, I decided I don't want to live in California anymore. It's finished. So I had 2 cats, both of them Siamese. And I ran away to a hotel.
Yeah.
And in this hotel, I stayed there and I waited until my flight. Then I went to the airport and I took the flight and I came back to New York.
Okay.
And I came back October 2nd, 1989. 1988. Okay. And that night, I went to his job. His job is at a gas station.
Okay.
Pumping gas. It was the evening. And I said, let's get married.
Just like that?
He said, what? I said, yeah, let's get married. There was a bit of a problem that he couldn't stay in America anymore.
Okay.
You know what kind of problem, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, okay, let's get married so you can stay here and, continue working.
But what happened? I mean, how could you think of let's just right now, you just...
I did it as a friend.
Okay.
I mean,
such a nice friend.
I wasn't attached to anybody.
So there was nothing romantic there?
No.
Seriously?
No.
Okay, so you just said, like, let's help a friend.
Yes.
By getting married to this
And
guy.
there was no money exchange, just to let you know.
Okay.
This
is a message for U.S. government.
I did it out of friendship. I didn't love him at the time.
Okay.
And there was no love connection or anything. So 9 days later, we got married.
But the friendship you're talking about is like it's 15 days friendship you're talking about.
Yes.
So after 15 days, you were like, okay, I'm going to help this guy.
But it was a long time. Okay, 15 days. I went back to California for 3 months. Okay? And then I went back to New York on October 2nd, and we were married October 15th.
Okay. And then back to the gas station.
Yeah, that's where he worked.
So you told him that let's get married.
Yes.
What was his first reaction to this?
Actually, I said, okay, we're going to get married, but
Okay.
you can go on your merry way, do whatever you want, just so you could stay here. He said, no, we're getting married. We're going to live together as husband and wife.
And what did you say?
I looked at him. I thought about it. Oh, okay. I'll marry you and I'll live with you as husband and wife.
That's
Seriously.
a very interesting story, honestly.
Yes, seriously.
Wow.
And then, of course, because he's Turkish, he's Muslim, he has his traditions, and I'm an American, I'm very free and very loud and very crazy. We had a lot of clashes, a lot.
What was the first clash?
I guess he didn't like me doing something, and I said, but this is me. You're marrying me for me, not to change me. I said, I'm not trying to change you. I know who you are. I know how your behavior is. We're living in New York. You're working in New York. You know how the Turkish women are, and you know how the American women are. So why are you trying to change me into a Turkish woman?
I see.
He understood. And, He was very young, 23.
23.
Yeah.
So you were 26, he was 23. Okay, great. And then what about this? As I know, Turkish families are very concerned about
I didn't meet his family until after we were married.
Did they know that he's marrying
his father sent a telegram.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Really? A telegram?
Yeah. Congratulations on your wedding day and all this. Of course, but I didn't meet them until we went to Turkey. And that was 7 years later.
7 years in New York?
Yes!
Not meeting the Turkish family?
No!
Wow.
It wasn't my concern because I didn't marry the family. I married him.
Yeah.
That's the way we are in America.
I
don't have to marry your family. I'm marrying you. I don't care what they say. If they like me, they don't like me. That's not my problem. That's their problem.
I see. When was the first time you felt love?
I think maybe 2 or 3 years later.
Took 3 years.
Yeah, because we had a lot of things to work through. The Turkish religion and the Turkish behavior. And as crazy as Pat is, he had to really... he's an analytical person, analyzing everything. And, of course, this is how she's going to be. This is what she's going to do. This is what she's going to say. And this is me, very conservative. She's very free. It took a long time for us to get used to each other,
But you never felt that you want to give up?
No, I didn't want to give up. But it's a saying that the first 7 years is the hardest, which is true.
Wait a second. First 7 years is the hardest.
Yes.
7 years. It takes 7 years
Yes.
I thought it's 7 months.
No.
Yeah.
And because, I'm an American, he's Turkish, we had a lot of differences.
I see.
And at the time when we got married, we weren't thinking of any of these things. But
what about the common points? The common points you did not expect?
He's a very hard worker. I'm a very hard worker.
Yeah, Turkish people are very hardworking.
The difference is I think we complement each other is he doesn't talk a lot, but I do. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We like to dance. There was this one place on Saturday nights we would go. It was called Chevy's.
Chevy's. Where was it?
It was on Sunrise Highway in New York.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 50s and 60s.
Okay.
And we danced very well together, so we had that in common. Dancing.
Dance is such a thing.
Yes.
Nice.
And it was great. We would go there every Saturday morning at night until it burned down. We went there for like maybe 2 years. It was great. I loved it.
2 years. Wow. That's nice.
And I couldn't find another place, another dance place to replace that. So we stopped going there.
I see. So when was the first time he came up with the idea, let's go to Turkey?
He didn't.
So what happened?
His father said there was a job in Adana for him because he's a mechanical engineer. There's a hospital, American hospital. He went there first to set everything up, so we had a place to stay, which we didn't when I went there. I didn't like that, but anyway.
Did you know anything about Adana before you moved there?
I didn't know anything about
From
Turkey.
New
What
York?
are you talking about?
Nothing.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know about their religious things. I didn't know, anything. Nothing. I just went there with my eyes closed.
I see.
It was very difficult. Very, very, very difficult when I went to Turkey. Adana... Who would think I'm going to Adana?
Yeah.
Of all the places. But yeah, my husband's job, they had an office, which also had bedrooms in it. So we stayed in one of them because my husband didn't find a place for us to live. So we stayed in the office maybe a month, maybe. And then we found a place. It's in a building that has 10 floors. And we were way up at the top. Every time it was windy, the building would be swaying.
Oh, wow.
And I kept saying, when is the building going to fall down?
So what was your first impression when you moved to Turkey? First day?
Okay, first thing, his brother picked me up at the airport and we went to Istanbul.
Okay. Oh, so your first impression was Istanbul?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I smelled something and I said, what is that smell? I couldn't stand it. We don't have any of that in America.
What is it?
It was kokoreç.
The smell of kokoreç.
I had no idea what he was talking about. What is this food that you're talking? He couldn't explain it because his English wasn't that good. I asked, of course, my husband later, but I couldn't understand how Turkish people can eat this stuff. It didn't smell. Maybe it tasted good, but the smell.
Do you eat kokoreç?
No, never.
Never ever?
Never. I mean, no. There's a few things I can't eat, and one of them is foot something.
What?
Feet something.
What is
Sheep feet.
Oh, kelle paça. Okay.
I can't eat brain
Okay.
and stomach.
Okay.
That's enough. I can't eat sheep. How's that?
Nice. That's nice. You're making progress.
Shall I tell you why?
Why?
Okay, it was around the holiday, the sacrificial holiday, and we were in Ankara, where his parents were.
Yeah.
And they live on the 4th floor, and the neighbor next to them also lived in an apartment building. There was 5 trees, and on each tree there hung a sheep. And I said, "What are they doing with all these sheep? Why are they hanging them on the trees?" And then I found out, and I
Sacrifice.
said, yeah, but nobody told me. It was
Nobody explained?
No, nobody explained anything.
Why not? I mean, that's something
that's how
to
I had to.
explain.
No, that's how I had to find out everything. Find it out for yourself.
Okay.
And that's
How
what
did you
I
find
did.
out?
I saw them doing it.
And did you ask them what is going on, guys?
No, because what happened was the neighbor, they brought some meat over in a bowl.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And when I saw this bowl, the meat was still jumping.
Oh, it was fresh.
Oh, yeah, of course, it was very, very fresh. And I said, "What are you doing with this?" She says, "We're eating it." And I said, "Really?" And the smell, because it was very fresh, I said, "No, thank you." But I did taste it after she cooked it.
Okay.
And I said, "No, thank you. I'll not eat sheep because it was too oily." And
But now you do.
no, I don't.
Sheep.
No.
Okay.
No. I could never get used to the smell or the taste.
I see.
I will buy the sheep for my husband and my son, but I will not eat it. I'll even cook it, but I won't eat it.
I see.
It's like you Turkish people will not eat pig. Okay?
Yeah,
they
of
won't
course.
eat that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I love it. I have a hard time finding it in Istanbul.
Yeah.
But I do eat it.
I see.
And I
So,
find it.
so moving to Istanbul, the first.
No, I didn't
positive-
move to Istanbul in the first place.
I mean, the first interaction with Istanbul.
Oh, the first interaction.
What was positive? What was it that you were like, wow, this is great about Istanbul?
I can't say there was, because everything was so new.
Okay.
And from Istanbul, we went directly to Adana, where my husband was. So
so you didn't really have time
No, I really
spending
didn't
in
have
Istanbul,
time
yeah.
to spend in Istanbul. The first time I saw Adana, I was wondering, why am I here? Why in Adana? You know, it's like a big village. They have the hospital, and then they have the other areas where people live.
What year is this?
This is in 1994.
1994. Okay.
And I had no clue about Turkey. None. Zero. No
There was
idea.
no Google at the time, right? You couldn't just Google things.
I didn't think to Google anything,
Anything,
okay?
yeah.
I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a telephone. How am I going to...
1994,
Nothing. Nothing.
98.
right? 1998, yeah.
Google was 98.
Nothing. I
You
had
had to wait
no
for 4 years.
clue, nothing about nothing. The language, the anything, nothing. Traditions, nothing. I guess when my husband went to New York, he learned everything by himself.
Yeah,
So for me to come to Turkey, I had to learn everything for myself.
I see.
And it was very difficult. Because
Tell me some of those culture shocks. Some of those
culture
interesting things.
shock. I couldn't speak the language. And you know the little yellow dictionaries, Turkish, English, English, Turkish. So, for example, you say one word. I have to look at the dictionary.
The whole book and everything. You have to just turn pages.
It was really, really bad. For 7 months, I did that. because I couldn't get the words correctly when I was speaking them in Turkish. Everybody was saying, "Oh, it's so cute." So for 7 months, I was constantly looking in the dictionary, and I started getting very depressed. I said, I can't stand Turkey. I can't speak the language. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Ooh,
every day I was crying.
You felt lonely.
Yes. You know, there was no American friends. All the people
But there's an American base in Adana.
Yes, but they never went outside the base. That's the problem.
You couldn't get inside the base?
No, they wouldn't let me. I don't know why. I was Turkish. Because I guess I didn't have the Turkish ID yet. You know? But because I wasn't a personnel in the hospital, I also couldn't go in there. So for 7 months, yes, I was constantly crying.
Did you start working at a hospital?
No, I didn't work at a hospital.
What was your job at the time?
My job, crying.
That was your job?
Yes, that was my job, crying.
I see,
yes.
I see.
Because I didn't have any people that I could speak to. Everybody around me was Turkish.
Anyone?
No, there was only 3 people, and that were the people that were working with my husband.
Okay.
That's it. Their secretary was from the village, and definitely no English from her. So she was taking me around to different places, showing me different things. I didn't understand because she wasn't speaking English.
Were you the only American at that time in Adana?
Outside the base, pretty much.
I see.
You know, at that time, all of the Americans stayed on the base.
Yes.
So, you know, yeah. After 7 months, I really don't know how I got this job, but I got the job at Türk American Derneği in Adana. And I worked there for almost 2 years.
What is this Derneği? This is the community association.
Yeah.
What is it about?
It's a language course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it still is a language course.
I see. So you started teaching language.
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, how can they hire an American off the street to teach English? So after that time, I said, if I'm going to continue, I need to get certificates and I need to learn how to properly teach. So I went to the British Council and they offered lots of different courses, which I did when I went to Izmir.
I see. What year is that?
When I went to Izmir?
Yeah.
1998. About 2001, 2002, somewhere around there.
I see.
So, but while I was working in the Türk American Derneği, I did that for 2 years. But the first year I did it, everything was fine. The second year I was there, my husband, of course, never went to the army. So you know the procedure about the army.
Oh, yeah. Askerlik.
Yes. He turned 30 and they said, come on. Let's go. Let's go. And where are you going? I have to do my army. You know, if I'm going to stay in Turkey, I have to do the army.
Yeah.
I said, how many months? He said, 8. I said, what? 8 months with no husband? Are you serious? You just bring me to Turkey and then you run away 2 years later. It was very traumatic. Really. It really was. It was very, very traumatic.
I see. Did you miss New York all this time?
Not really, because when I did go back, nothing changed. Everything was the same, just the people changed.
I see.
New York was always crowded. Long Island was always green. My street, it was still the same. Just the people changed. Sell the houses, buy the houses.
Yeah.
Nothing was really different. And I didn't really miss it because before I came to Turkey, my mother passed away. So, I only had my father. And while I was in Turkey, my father met a woman and he got married. We went back to New York for the wedding and I brought some Turkish traditional things for them.
I see.
I bought a bracelet and I bought, gold, and I pinned it on my father. And, they were very impressed. Wow, you give really nice gifts.
Yeah, nice.
So, after that, where was I?
You were mentioning that you went to New York for your father's wedding.
Yes, after that I came back and we moved to Izmir after my husband did the army thing.
I see. Now, back in Adana, Adana is very famous for the food.
The thing that I ate most was chicken kebab.
Chicken kebab?
Yes.
Was there something special about it?
I don't know. I just like chicken.
Okay.
But I had one cat. His name was Fishek. And my husband... Fishek. Bullet.
Okay.
Okay. I know that word.
You know Turkish?
No, I don't.
You were speaking Turkish outside.
With who?
people around?
No, I was speaking English to everybody here. I don't know what you're talking about. We had a cat. His name was Fishek, and my husband used to like to order hot Adana kebab. And every time the guy rang the doorbell, the cat was sitting at the door waiting. He would eat hot Adana kebab. This cat.
Yeah, Adana cats. They like Adana kebab.
He is not.
That's how it works in Adana.
I mean, Adana kebab is very, very hot.
It is.
How did this cat eat it? I don't know.
The cat got used to the heat, I guess.
I don't know.
Because it's Adana.
Yeah, well, him and my husband, they ate the Adana kebab. I always ate the chicken kebab. So.
Was it acılı or acısız? The cat's Adana kebab.
Acı.
Oh, wow.
That's what I said. It was very hot.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know how this cat ate it. I have no idea. I tasted it and my mouth was on fire. But this cat ate it. I couldn't believe it. The cat was eating Adana kebab with my husband.
Nice. And then you moved to Izmir.
Then we moved to Izmir.
Yes. How was Izmir?
I really liked Izmir. It seemed like a very nice, calm city with lots of green. And the ocean was there and it was beautiful. And I think you had a guest. She was into saving pets.
Oh, yes. Bengi.
Bengi. She mentioned something about looking at the sea but not seeing any buildings.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you can see in Izmir. You see the sea, no buildings, you see the birds, you can sit on the side and just watch the waves, and it smells so beautiful. And that's the one thing I miss from New York.
I see.
It was so nice.
What is your favorite spot in New York?
My home.
Long Island.
My home, yes.
Okay, nice.
I like any place that's green. Because green means pure, green means life, green means beauty. And where I'm living...
I agree.
But where I'm living right now, all I see is cement, cement, cement, cement. Everywhere is cement, cement, cement. And it's not very... it's not a very happy feeling, you know. Because you see maybe one tree here.
You live in Istanbul
10
now.
10 feet next to another. Yeah, I'm in Istanbul. And you don't really see that much green.
And you live on the European side of Istanbul. Yeah. I believe that we have more greenery in the Anatolian side of Istanbul, to be honest. When you cross the bridge, you see everything turn green immediately.
Oh, I'm living on the wrong side then.
It's all right. It's all right. So, in Izmir, how many years in Izmir?
8.
8 years in Izmir. Yes. How many years in Adana?
2.
2 years in Adana. 8 years in Izmir.
Ask me why we moved.
Why?
Because my husband got a job at a very big establishment. Do you want me to do the advertisement about it?
Do you want to?
Well, he no longer works there.
Okay.
So. Koçtaş. He was working at Koçtaş as a market manager.
I see.
And after a while, he became a district manager.
Mm-hmm.
And between Izmir and Istanbul, we kept moving back and forth. We did that like 3 times. And every time we went back to Izmir, we moved to a different place. The first place, it was Evka 3 in Bornova. Mm-hmm. That was the very first market they had.
Bornova?
So, yeah.
Izmir. Yeah. I see. What about your social life in Izmir? Because I've heard great things about social life in Izmir. People are very open to socialize.
Yeah. We would go to dinner or we would have barbecues. Always our place had a garden. Mm-hmm, you know, I had to have a garden.
Yeah.
And that's what pissed my husband off a lot. You know,
why?
Because having a garden is like a luxury.
Oh, yeah.
And having a luxury costs money.
Money.
Of course.
Of course.
But I never wanted to live in an apartment after living in Adana on the 10th floor and having it always swaying when it's windy.
Yeah.
So we always had one-story house with a garden. Mm-hmm. And we always invited friends over on the weekends. Let's have a barbecue. And that's how we spent our weekends.
Rakı?
I don't drink.
You never drink?
No.
Never,
because
ever?
I'm the designated driver.
Oh, I see. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anybody can drink, but I don't. I never acquired a taste for liquor. Never.
That's interesting.
No. And everybody thinks that Americans drink a lot. They drink a lot of beer, watching the football games.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yes. Especially the football games.
Yes, Super Bowl.
And that's why they all get into a fight, because they're all drunk all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
But
that's why America's always in war with some country?
Yeah, we're always in war with everybody. We're all drunk.
Too aggressive. I see. And then 10 years in Istanbul, in Turkey, 2 years in Adana, 8 years in Izmir. When did you become Turkish citizen?
8 years ago, I believe.
8 years ago?
Yeah.
How many years passed? I mean, were you in Istanbul when?
I think it was in Izmir that I became a Turkish citizen. Yeah, you know how the law works. Every 1 or 5 years, we have to renew our sitting place, and I got tired of it. So I said, is there a way that I can become a permanent citizen? And he said, yes, because we've been married long enough. So I applied for it, and I had to change my name from an English name to a Turkish name. It's the same name.
Çevik.
No, the first name.
Oh, the first name.
Yeah, and
how come?
Because Patricia, they don't say Patricia. I don't know. They call me Patricia.
So, living in Turkey, Turkish values, Turkish culture. Any Turkish value you love?
Can I talk about the ones I don't love?
You can talk about anything, basically.
I don't like, and I'm sure all of you will agree, about kissing the hand.
Actually, the funny thing is that I talked about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Not everybody agreed, though.
No, in America, all you do is shake the hands.
Yeah.
If it's your relative, you kiss them. But if it's a stranger, why would I want to kiss a stranger's hand? I don't know where this hand was. Am I right? Am I right?
You are right.
Okay, then. I don't know. It could have been in your hair, up your nose, somewhere else. I don't know. But seriously, why would I want to kiss somebody's hand? Why? Okay, I understand it's a tradition, and when I do it, they're very, very happy. But then, think about where their hand was. So I learned how to do it without my lips touching anybody's hand. So I learned to do this and then this.
I see.
So my lips don't touch them.
I see.
So it worked out well.
How many years in Turkey, by the way?
At that time?
No, your whole journey in Turkey. How many years has it been?
I'm going to say we're married 33 years, 5 years in America. What, 26? No.
26 years.
About
26 years.
Yeah.
Is there anything you like about this culture?
I love Turkey.
Okay.
If I didn't love Turkey, first of all, I wouldn't have married my husband.
Yes.
Second of all, I wouldn't have come to Turkey. Okay?
Makes sense. And 26 years.
And 26 years.
So what do you like about it?
I like the culture. I like the people. The people are very hot, very friendly. I mean hot in the way that they're very friendly.
Yes.
I like the fact that being a foreigner, in most places we are respected. Not in schools because the kids didn't learn anything yet. But it's also, if you have the right qualifications, you can get a job easily.
Mm-hmm.
At the time when I first came to Izmir, I smoke, and my cigarettes cost 1 lira 25 kurush.
Mm-hmm.
1 lira.
The pack.
Yes, 1 lira. What can you buy for 1 lira now?
Anything?
Metro bathroom.
Chewing gums? Yeah, chewing gums. Sakız.
Which one?
You can ask for one piece of,
I also made the mistake. I gave the dolmuş driver 5 lira. Okay, and at the time it was like 50 kurush, 75 kurush, something like that. And he was trying to give me back the change. I kept saying, this is the first time I got on a dolmuş.
Yeah.
Somebody taught me how to stop the dolmuş because I didn't know how to stop a dolmuş.
I see.
So she taught me that you stand up and shout, "Dur, inecek var." And that's how I learned That's how I learned to stop at dolmuş. Because I was saying, stop, stop. And the bus driver didn't understand, stop, stop.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Now, moving to Turkey, for many foreigners, one of the things they face is the pictures of Ataturk everywhere.
Okay, but I like Ataturk.
Yeah.
I learned it from my students. Yes, I learned it from my students.
Okay.
They loved Ataturk because he did a lot of things for the women and made Turkey free. And also, I know he has blonde hair and blue eyes also. So maybe I could be related to him. I don't know. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I know he did a lot of good things for the Turkish public. And he was very, very respected. And he also loved animals, which I really admire, because a lot of Turkish people, it's an outside animal. It's not a house animal. Stay outside.
Yeah.
But Ataturk, I think, had his dogs and mostly dogs in his house with him, I believe.
I see. Great. So then when did you move to Istanbul again? Not again, basically. You had the first day in Istanbul.
I was like a pogo stick. Istanbul, Izmir, Istanbul, Izmir.
Okay.
Because he was a district manager. You know, that wherever they needed him, he would go.
So you had to just switch places from Istanbul to Izmir.
Maybe like the first time was Izmir 8 years. And then the second time was maybe like 4 years.
Okay.
Coming to Istanbul. And the first place we lived in Istanbul was Kartal.
Kartal.
Yeah. And had a very nice big yard.
Very green.
Yes. And I had chickens.
You had chickens?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I was raising chickens in the backyard until one day, I don't know where they came from, 3 dogs came into my garden, ripped all of my animals to shreds.
Oh, wow.
I told my...
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. My neighbor across the street also had chickens, and she was raising them. I said, be careful, because there's 3 dogs, and they might come for your chicken. The next day, they went
did.
to her. And I called the Beledi and I said, 3 street dogs killed all my chickens, and I would like to continue raising chickens. A month later, 25 meat chickens were delivered to my home.
Really?
Really free.
Nice. Belediye did it.
What am I going to do with 25 meat chickens? I can't kill them. So I raised them, and I sold them to the lady across the street. You know, the one that was raising chickens also.
I see. So Belediye sent you chicken?
Yes. Well, the agricultural part.
I see.
Yeah, because...
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
They don't probably do it now.
I'm going to call Belediye today.
But wait a minute.
Send me some chickens?
I'm a foreigner, okay?
I'm a foreigner,
no,
too.
you're not. I think because of that. I really don't know why, but I got 25 meat chickens for free.
I see. Great. And then when was your first special moment with Istanbul? Because I feel like everybody's got their special moment with Istanbul. Maybe crossing the bridge, maybe just looking over Bosphorus.
I think when I was on a trip down the Bosphorus, there were so many things to see. And, you know, they were pointing out different places along the side. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it. My sign or my monthly, what do you call it? I'm Cancer.
Okay.
And Cancers love lots of water. Mm-hmm. And because of this, I always like to go near the water, but I don't like to be under the sun. This is a big problem because I turn into a lobster. So, yeah, being near the water is wonderful, but, you know, the sun and me don't agree. So while we were going down the Bosphorus, they were showing different places. I was taking lots of pictures as memories. But the thing that I remember, I took 17 rolls of film when we went to the big museum in Istanbul. What's the biggest
Which one is
museum?
that? Biggest museum in Istanbul?
Yes.
Topkapı Palace.
Yes. So many beautiful things there.
Yeah.
And at the time, you could take pictures. And everything that I saw, I was taking a picture. They had this golden baby crib. And I said, wow, a golden baby crib for this. I mean, it was unbelievable. The things that I saw. And big diamonds and big rubies and sapphires. And it was really, really... I didn't see anything like that in America, and it was really nice. I enjoyed going there. 17 rolls of film I took.
Wow.
Everything that I saw, I was taking a picture.
Of.
Yeah.
So many people say that there are many similarities between New York and Istanbul. What do you think of that?
The only similarity is too much traffic.
Is that the only similarity you see between New York and...
There's a lot of people in in New York and Istanbul, and
The bridge?
we have the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it quite similar?
In the way they look, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than in New York, the last I remember, there weren't too many cars, but there were lots of taxis. Mm-hmm. People just don't drive; they just jump in a taxi.
New York yellow cabs.
Yeah, but in Istanbul, there's both taxis and
cars. Great. So, any advice for our audience? Any last word?
I think it's a very nice place. I think it's an affordable place to live. It's very different culture. Wonderful places to visit for the summer holidays. Turkey is such a vast of experience to be had. And if you go any place in Turkey that, it's just a beautiful place. I've been to Fethiye. I've been to Bodrum. I've been to Antalya, Alanya. So many beautiful places to see. It's somewhere where you can have a vacation, but also live here because the people are very warm. They're very helpful. And I think it would be wonderful. I'm living here 26 years.
May I ask one last thing? Would you please... tell our audience a message in Turkish.
I don't speak Turkish.
At all? A bit? They're gonna like it.
Merhaba herkese. İnşallah sen Türkiye'ye geleceksin. Türkiye çok güzel yer. Tatil için, yaşamak için. İnsanlar çok sıcak. Çok bir yerini görebilirsin. Müthişem. Türkiye çok müthişem bir yer. Bence gelsin görsün.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Patricia from New York, living in Istanbul. It was great having you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Please contact us, info@metotalk.cafe. Subscribe, comment, like. Patricia, everyone.
Thank you.